Hello. So today we're going to talk about LUTs, and on the way to LUTs we're going to talk about color correction and what we can do, okay, to make the images better. So this is where I'm at the moment. So if I go back to the edit panel, I've just brought in a clip here. This clip incidentally is from cinestudio.org, so they have loads of free clips there, and they're all raw. They're shot on Blackmagic minis, so they're just under 30 frames a second, a fraction of them. So if we go to the color tab, so it's raw, so there's a lot of blue in this image. I'm going to add a bit of contrast and a bit here as well, and also I'm going to reduce the blue down a bit. So if I click on these three things here, I can see the blue is very, very high. Take this down just a fraction. Okay. I want to see the color more of her scarf and his scarf, and there's a little red boy in the background here, so not swamped out by all the blue. Okay, so what do we do next? So on the top left hand side here we've got gallery, LUTs and media pool. Click on LUTs and you'll see all of the LUTs here in directories. So if we go to, for example, Blackmagic, on a bunch, Astro Design, and then a directory which I've created, LUTs1. So to create this directory, as an aside to what we're talking about, to look at these folders, each one of these represents a folder in a directory. So if we right click on it, go Reveal in Finder, we can see all of the LUTs in all of their folders within DaVinci Resolve. Okay? So this one here we've got here is called LUTs1, which is this folder here. So now I downloaded these as a free pack, so which if anybody wants me to, I can link them in the bottom if somebody wants to play with these LUTs tool. So just ask. So, but if I wanted to put some LUTs in here, right click, create a new folder, copy your LUTs in there, okay, the cube files, close your window, right click and refresh, and they will appear in here. Okay. So these are my ones here. Now if I hover the mouse over each one of these LUTs, I can see the effect. Okay, they have. If I move it from left to right, I can see what they're doing. Now, you're looking at the full weight of that LUT applied to this clip. Okay, now what I mean is at its extreme. So, for example, this one here, very, very high contrast, just really sort of like, I don't know, just a bit wrong. It's just very, very dark and very, very lot of contrast in it. This one here, very bit of faded there, and you know, so each one's completely different of these ones. Fusion, I think there's a black and white one down the bottom somewhere. This one here. So we've got all these different ones we can play with. Now, how do we apply these LUTs? Right, the first thing we need to do is open nodes. Okay. And these are our nodes here. Right. Now, if we right click in here, we can go add node, we can add a corrector. Drag the node over the line, connecting line here, until it goes yellow, let go, and it's plugged in. Okay. Now the LUTs, we're going to apply one of these LUTs to that node, the new one we just added, called 01. And all we're going to do is drag it over the top of it. So let's choose a LUT. So this is quite a strong, this one here. So Hyla 68. Now it looks overpowering on the screen, on the preview. So let's drag it over and see what happens. Okay. Right. Now it is quite strong. So the next question is, how do we reduce it? Okay. Right. On this bar here, just below the preview monitor, okay, there's one here, which is third from the end, which looks like a rectangle with a hole in it, divided diagonally. It's called key. Click key. The key is the strength of that LUT applied on that node. So the key output, okay, we can reduce this. So if we reduce this down to 0.5, we can see now the power of the LUT has been reduced drastically. And if we reduce it down to 0, there's no LUTS at all. And we go up to, we can see now we're going way past it to 2. Okay, so now it's a bit, actually that's not too bad actually, but it's a bit, you know, the word cine study's gone a bit green. So we can reduce it down to the amount we actually want. So let's keep going. So I thought maybe about here-ish, possibly. Let's go to the now, a few things to bear in mind. If you have a film clip that changes drastically from maybe sky to landscape to a person to a car to a boat, these colors will change within your clip. Now the LUT you're applying is going to apply the same effect right the way through the clip, and the way that it reacts with the colors can be completely different at different stages of your clip. So it may not work quite as expected. All right, so you might have to cut your clip up into bits, color correct them, get them matched much more better, and then when you apply the LUT, then start changing more and more within that LUT. Okay? We can still alter colors and everything else within our panel down here. The temperature, we're going to add a bit of temperature to it. And we can reduce temperature. Okay, so we can still mess around with the colors and everything while the LUT's applied. So you can match things. But if it's one single film clip, you can have a bit of a problem. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to keep going through within sections of your film clip. What's a good example? If I was looking at the sky and it's nice bright blue with a big white fluffy cloud, my white fluffy cloud I want to be white. But if I'm actually looking, say, now at the grass, which is green, I want it to be green, and I want a bit of a tint there, that tint will start applying to that cloud. All right, so we need to separate things out a bit. So it can, the results can be a bit unexpected. So now, as an aside, where it says temp, tint, temperature, tint, contrast, if we double click on these words, double tint, if we double click on temp, it resets it to 0. The same with contrast, if it's off anywhere, and the pivot, and anything else on the screen. We can double click on these words and it resets them. And on these little round circles here, got a little back arrow here. If I've moved them, I can click on the reset. So things can be reset. So you don't have to destroy the whole project when things go wrong. If I'm not happy completely with what I've done, I can reset the node grade. Okay. By just right-click node, reset it, and start all over again. So let's find a different LUT that's a bit more extreme. This one looks quite extreme. This one here, Reeve 38. So I'll drag this over to this LUT here. Okay. Very, very overpowering. I click on the key and get the gain down. I still think the shadows and a bit contrast is a bit high here. So what so that LUT's not too bad actually. So we've applied a different LUT. So we've brought out I think there's a bit of green there at the back. Some lines on her face a bit prominent. Another LUT here. So LUTs are, they can save a lot of time. It gives you somewhere to start with colouring. So, and colour grading can be quite very time consuming, bit by bit, and then saving and then just keep reapplying to different parts of your edits and stuff. And it can be a real pain and go around in circles. A LUT, if you've got a good directory of LUTs, you've got somewhere to start. So you find the LUT that you like that's closest to what you want, and then work from it. There are so many. I quite like this one actually. I might actually use this at some point or something. And then there are other LUTs in here as well. So any questions, just ask. I'm more than happy to help. Just remember this key here and the key output. to reduce it, so the effect of the LUT is reduced, because quite often, I mean, there's a lot of blue in that one. So the LUTs, you know, I've applied this one here, a lot of blue in here, so I can just go straight to 3 dots here, and I can just drop that blue down. Notice as the blue goes down, the red goes up. So it's almost like affecting the temperature really directly. So still quite strong, but absolutely play with the LUTs. That's mostly it for this. Bit of color correction, changing the temperature, the tint, contrast, the shadows and the mid and highlights, and then applying a LUT. So the order of work would be color correction, then color grade it. And if you want to save yourself time, use a LUT and then play with the settings for the LUT. I hope this has been helpful, and thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.